Now, here we have a question where they're saying that what does the term murky phase refer to in the context of the pandemic? So, if a student knows the meaning of the term murky phase, definitely they would have an advantage over the students who don't know this word's meaning. But you must also understand that they have not just asked about the meaning of this phrase, but at the same time, they have asked about the meaning of this phrase when you are discussing pandemic. So, in the context of pandemic, clearly tells us that in order to answer this question, you would have to read around the murky phase where we are discussing the pandemic and figure out what we are saying there. And based on that, you should be able to answer the question. So, yeah, you should not have as much of a hard time here in answering this particular question. So, WHO declared an end to the COVID-19 public health emergency of international concern, sure, but it stated that does not mean COVID-19 is over as a global health threat. So, it highlighted that, listen, or it warned us that, listen, just because we ended this particular emergency, it does not mean that the threat of COVID-19 is a global threat is basically over. It is still ongoing. And then they are using this. We are currently in a murky phase. So let me kind of assume that I don't know what kind of phrase they're talking about. And I'm just going to say we are currently in a kind of phase of the pandemic where the balance between the ongoing risk we have from COVID-19 and the route to recovery, they're very unclear. The balance between these two are very unclear to many individuals and governments, right? So here is the answer that I am looking for. The balance between these two are unclear. This is exactly what it means by saying that the murky phase. Now, looking at answer option A, it says a period where governments are uncertain. So far, I'm happy with this. Governments are uncertain, you are unclear, makes sense. A period when governments are uncertain about lifting restrictions. So, this is the part where I have a problem lifting restrictions. Because here they have not mentioned specifically that they are talking about lifting restrictions. And if you're unclear about something, it does not automatically mean that I'm unclear about lifting restrictions, if you know what I mean. So, based on this, I know for a fact that this is going to be incorrect. Afterwards, we look at answer option B, a phase where the risks, they have talked about that, and the recovery path, yes, they have talked about that. Route to recovery or recovery path are unclear. Very easily it's matching with this. So yeah, the meaning absolutely is correct, but I still have to check the other answer options. Answer option C says a time when COVID-19 no longer poses a global threat. This is definitely wrong, incorrect, because we just saw in the paragraph how they have mentioned here that it does not mean that COVID-19 is over as a global threat. So this is the direct opposite of that. So this is clearly going to be incorrect. Then continuing, answer option D, a phase marked by disagreements in countries on managing COVID-19. Although they are talking about the route to recovery, they have mentioned an end to the COVID-19 public health emergency of international concern. However, they have not mentioned anywhere at all that there are disagreements in countries on how to manage COVID-19. So this definitely is also going to be incorrect. Based on this, I am right, and my answer option B would be the correct answer. Remember that if you want to answer a phrase question, it always depends on what is given around that phrase. You can treat that phrase kind of like a blank there, and then see what is written around that phrase, understand its meaning, and based on that, select your answer. Got it?